the members of CJ, and everyone here believes that for that educational crisis, we need an educational solution. So we're not opposed to charter schools. We're not opposed to the creation of new schools. We're not opposed to restructuring schools to make them. However, we believe that the real answer to the educational crisis that we're facing is an educational strategy to improve our neighborhood schools. And that's why we are here.
12 years and I am the chapter leader, and yes, I'm here to let you know that you will not silence the voice of the people. I'm here to let you know that you cannot come in here thinking because a survey said there was low parental involvement that you have the right to shut our schools down. I'm here to let you know that 3 C's in a row is not a failing grade.
But it's over 80% of our students come from low-income families, and yet we still provide them with the appropriate services that we can give them and the time that they need. Now, we also deal with students who are in serious situations. This is temporary housing. That means they can move at any moment, be taken in. As Ms. Toes mentioned, we had so many who came and opened an account.
It's about 400 students in here. You can't take a yardstick and measure a school of 400 students and use that same, put it on the same page with a school of 1,000, 2,000. You can't do that. It's not fair. So I just want the panel to appreciate that. You know, the evaluation needs to be made level. The playing field has to be level.
At Paul Robeson High, 91% of the students live in households below the poverty line. That we know many of us face. Cherry-picked students. Many of them are products of the harsh city inner life that we know many of us face. When these kids succeed, Deputy Chancellor, we all succeed in New York City. Paul Robeson High is taking the necessary steps to better serve students.
I was driving up there, I worked with Oasis after school in this building. And for me, my education began, as far as the best I can remember, is learning how to tie my shoelaces. Now, I had trouble with it. It bothered me, but it was the beginning of my education, and it was fine. But if you have a child that's trying to learn how to tie their shoelaces, and you sit them down and you say, here's how you tie it, there's one method, here's another method, and you work with them to practice it, they will learn how to tie their shoelaces very quickly. Now, if you give that same child a pair of sneakers, throw them at their feet, say, I'll be back in 3 days, if they're not tied, I'll beat you. And you come back, they will not have tied their shoes. Now, my question is, why does it seem that the Department of Education is giving us a pair of shoes, giving us a school, and saying, do well with it, make something happen? What we're going to do is we're going to stand over there, and we're going to work to see if your shoes are tied yet. Now, here we are a day later, I give you this report card that says your shoes seem fairly tied, but not tied well enough for my standards. And you come back and you check again, the child tied their shoes on, and yet the shoes still are tied, and you remind them that this happens one more time, I'm going to beat you, and then I'm going to take the shoes away, and you will have to walk the rest of your life barefoot. It doesn't make sense. We have a debate team that is number analytical, and that stands for something. You cannot be number 1 unless you have analytical and research skills. Where do they get that from? MCA.
Good evening. My name is Tamara Tolles. I'm currently a teacher at Paul Robeson High School. I've been a member of this community for the past 4 years. And I teach students with varying abilities and disabilities. It's last year's graduates. They are considered the K cohort. Paul Robeson received 281 freshmen through the high school administration process in that cohort. We received an additional 145 students over the counter. The 145 students included students that were new to the country, overaged and undercredited students, and students who struggled academically in middle school. Out of 348 students we received that year in the freshman class, 310 of them performed below reading levels on state tests. Out of the 347 students that were tested in math, 287 of them performed below state standards in math. We received 287 students who performed below state standards, yet you expect us to graduate them in 4 years.
My name is James Stanley. 2 of my children attend this school. My family resides at the Junior Street Shelter 4 blocks from the high school. This is a source of stability for all children in this area. Also, with the work that this school does with special education students, the loss of this school to this community would be a major inconvenience to those with special education students. These children need extra help. They do learn, and this school is one of the few in this area that helps them. Why further handicap those that have a handicap in the first place? There was an article today in the Daily News. Charters need to focus on medians by Diane Ravitch. Quoting here, most charters in New York City have lotteries for admission. The lottery screens out students whose families are not well informed. New York City's public schools have 50,000 homeless students, but only about 100 are enrolled in charters. The special education students that fit into charters tend to be those with the mildest disabilities because charters are not equipped to meet the needs of those with extreme disabilities. In addition, charters are able to counsel out students who are not a good fit who then return to the traditional public schools. That's not public education. 20% of the students that attend here are special ed. 66% are extremely disabled special ed. That means that those students will not be accepted by the charter school. This is bad and wrong.
I'm in my class, and I'm also the school-wide student body president. That 40% of students who succeeded found something to hold on to, something to motivate them, something to inspire them to finish school. So although it may not be as high as the DOE have liked, that means something is going right. It means that our staff, our faculty, our teachers are not here merely to make a living, but to enrich Robeson students' lives. It means that the students have put aside excuses and have said that I am capable of graduating high school. Robeson has taught them how to be successful human beings. If the DOE has heart to criticize Robeson, they should also have heart to help us. So now is not the time to point fingers, but for the DOE to work, for all of us to work to make schools and schools all over worthy of our children. There are success stories at Robeson, and you're looking at them right now.
Number 2, Diane Smith. Hi, my name is Diane.